Good evening. Welcome to GBS News at 9, where we make your news our business. I'm Paul Madenge, bringing you the most important stories from around the country and beyond. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. And now to our very first story. Kenyan senators are stepping up pressure for the arrest of governors who have ignored Senate summons as the standoff over county audit escalate. And now governors from several counties, including Nandi, Laikipia, Lamu, Murang'a, and Isiolo, have boycotted Senate committee appearances, accusing senators of harassment and bribery demands. But senators insist they have constitutional powers to enforce compliance with calls for arrest, heavy fines, and even funding freezes. On February 12, 2026, Inspector General Douglas Kanja warned that police are ready to arrest defiant governors following Senate Speaker Amason Kingi's directive targeting Isiolo Governor Abdi Guyo. Here are the details.
A few governors who have decided that they will not come before Parliament, which is a constitutional obligation and a constitutional duty. Where someone summoned fails to appear, there could be recourse to fines, or Parliament may request the IG of police to arrest and produce that person.
If your governors fail to appear before accountability committee like public accounts, we want to appeal to our citizens in Marsabit and any other part. If a governor fails, can the citizens assist us by arresting their governor? Because it's provided under the law, Chair.
In instances where they refuse to comply, the service under the direction of the committee is always ready to arrest and present them before the committee as requested.
And now moving on, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, accompanied by other ODM party members, were addressing the media in Nairobi earlier today after his removal as the party's Secretary General on February 11, 2026. Sifuna stated that the ouster is illegal and he is still the rightful elected Secretary General, claiming that his ouster was tied to Ruto's re-election talks. Zipporah Gaturia with the details.
The Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna said he remains to be the elected ODM Secretary General after the party removed him from the position and replaced him with Catherine Amanyo, terming his removal as illegal and unconstitutional.
I remain a loyal member and the duly elected Secretary General of the ODM party. I remain committed to the struggle for a fair, just and democratic Kenya.
Sifuna said he was not informed of any allegation against him by the party, adding that no lawful organ of the party has invited him for any hearing.
I urge our members to remain calm, steadfast and committed to the ideals that brought us together. ODM is bigger than any individual and it must remain anchored in justice, transparency and respect for its own constitution. Even as we confront the spectacle of stagnation against progress and liberal versus conservative clashes in our politics, we shouldn't fall for the allure of easy largesse and cheap promises made to the electorate for the sole purpose of perpetuating the age-old slavery visited on citizens of this nation by a regime lacking in legitimacy.
The case was filed by Sifuna challenging ODM and National Executive Committee against the allegations. The political parties dispute tribunal issue orders blocking the ODM from removing Edwin Sifuna from his position as Secretary General, pending the hearing and determination of his case.
And whatever actions I take from here, obviously after wide consultations, I will do so with my head held high, knowing full well that I have never once let down my leader, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, or the members of this party who are its backbone. Our party constitution places a responsibility on us to fight for ODM, and fight we shall. Through all lawful means, we shall fight for this great institution until the very end. We will challenge every illegality in the courts of law and in the court of public opinion. Surrender is not an option for us.
Zipporah Gaturia for GBS.
Now, with the next story, Kenya is deepening agricultural ties with Nigeria following a high-level meeting between the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary, Senator Mutahi Kagwe, and Nigeria's Agriculture Minister, Honorable Abubakar Kari, during the fall 9 IFAD Governing Council session. The talks focused on potential urea fertilizer imports from Nigeria to stabilize Kenya's farm input supply while expanding market access for Kenyan tea, horticulture, and value-added products into Nigeria's 200 million strong markets. The engagement signals a strategic shift towards strengthening intra-African trade under the AFCFTA framework, reducing reliance on volatile global supply chains and building resilient continental value chains. The discussion also aligned with Kenya's broader food security agenda and its expanding partnership with IFAD, which supports climate reliance, youth agripreneurship, livestock, and rural enterprise development.
The age of 16 and below are the ones who have been most challenged. They are the ones who want to get into agriculture. They are the ones who won't get any financial support because obviously they have got low education background. So what we have done as a government is that we have picked on them for special funding, in whatever businesses they are in, and a lot of them are in the agricultural sector. They are farming, and give them money directly.
And now moving on to education matters. Education stakeholders have been urged to collaborate in the fight against drug and alcohol abuse among learners. Speaking at Narok Teachers Training College, Deputy County Commissioner Kennedy Mwagome reaffirmed the government's commitment to stronger enforcement and prevention measures following the presidential proclamation of alcohol and drug control, while calling on parents to take an active role in guiding their children. NACADA reports that 1 in 6 Kenyan aged 15 to 65 uses at least one substance of abuse, highlighting the need for urgent collection.
Ya population yetu katika nchi yetu ya Kenya imeweza kuathiriwa na mambo ya pombe na yale madawa mengineyo. That is why akaweza kuideclare namna hiyo. Na wizara yetu katika kufuatilia mwito wa rais hivyo ikaweza kuanzisha RRI program ya crackdown ya mambo ya pombe, mambo ya trafficking ya pombe na pia mambo ya counterfeits za pombe. Hii mambo ya kupigana na unywaji wa pombe kiholela na mambo ya abuse ya pombe na madawa ya kulevya lazima sasa tuweze kuyachukulia kijamii.
Over the past few days, we have engaged in meaningful discussions, sensitization sessions, and awareness activities focused on preventing alcohol and drug use and drug misuse in our county. We have spoken openly about the risk associated with substance, the impact on mental health, academic performance, relationships, and future careers. NACADA continues to anchor its work on 3 main key pillars. That is public education, advocacy and awareness, treatment and rehabilitation, prevention, which we are doing today, and of course, enforcement.
Now it's time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is always 21144. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
So today we are diving into a topic that has become rather popular right here in Kenya, the K-pop culture.
I would say K-pop invokes creativity, like mega creativity. I have friends who are creative and you'll see, you've done that? And they're like, yeah. An ex told me that K-pop girls, K-pop stan girls, he was like, the men you stan look like women, and you aim to get a man that looks like that. So if you fail to find a man like that, because obviously you're in Kenya, sisi ndo tuko, you're not going to find a pretty man. For me, it's like I have two personalities at this point. I have my normal life and I have my army life. Because when I get into my army life, it's just like a whole new world. A community full of people who don't judge, people who accept you.
Learning Korean from a Kenyan can sometimes mess you up because they pronounce words differently, and when you speak to a native, it's like, hold up, what did you say?
I've never met like a K-pop fan. I don't know why.
What am I?
No, not many people want to like express themselves like I'm a K-pop fan. Unless you see them like wearing like a branded T-shirt or a branded hoodie, you realize that they are K-pop fans.
The main campaign of BTS is loving yourself, right? And K-pop has a lot of drawbacks, just like anything else. Too much of something is poisonous, yeah? And one of the drawbacks is it comes with beauty because they have these absurd beauty standards. While BTS passed this message that you're supposed to love yourself, embrace yourself, you're just perfect the way you are. You know, you don't have to eat less to be beautiful. You're beautiful from the inside, right? Get into BTS, it's hard to come out.
Okay.
Mambo VP, man, Mambo VP. Welcome to Echo Muziki. This is the best gospel show in East and Central Africa. My good name is Bensi, but you can call me the true ninja. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm with the baddest, the illest, the freshest, Mr. Chicky, DJ Jalaz with a Z. Yes, sire. This is where we bring you the top gospel song of the week. The top 10 best gospel jams in the week, of course. And of course, we bring you the best gospel news. And of course, the freshest interviews from the best guests. Catch us live each and every Saturday starting from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So make sure you tell your friend, to tell our friend, to tell his friend that this is the best show. Only on GBS TV Africa.
About being a miss or being a pageant queen. It is not just about wearing a crown or looking pretty on social media. It is about how much you can impact the community. What can you do with the title you hold? I'm actually a young model in the industry. I started modeling this year in school. Actually, I used to go to International Youth Fellowship where we had a modeling class. I used to study fashion and design, and we had a modeling class. So I am high fashion trained. On Instagram, Kelly.Omuhaya. On TikTok, Miss Omuhaya.
Now tell us about that moment when you had your name that you won Miss Kasarani 2025-2026.
What I would like to advise you is keep going. Keep going. Put God first. Be resilient. Be a go-getter. Find joy within yourself. Walk with pride. Chin up. Smile. You are a queen. He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. That makes me always rise, knowing that I have something that is greater than what people can see.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin here at GBS News at 9, where we make your news our business. Now is the time for your most favorite segment of the bulletin, the sports news. Let's get sporty. And now for football fun, it was a huge midweek in the Premier League, with Manchester City closing the gap on leaders Arsenal and Burnley producing the shock of the night. City cruise past Van Dijk had to keep the Champions League winless Burnley stand Crystal Palace by overturning a 2-0 deficit with 3 goals in a frantic spur to win 3-2. Elsewhere, Aston Villa beat Brighton 1-0 and Nottingham Forest were held 0-0 by Wolves despite dominating, leaving both still nervously looking over their shoulders near the bottom.
Pace into the near post and it's gone in. And it's
Now moving on, Al Nassr edged closer to the AFC Champions League 2 quarterfinals with a hard-fought 1-0 win away to FK Agdag in Ashgabat despite facing stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Sadio Mane and Joao Felix dominating possession. George Jesus rotated side broke the deadlock in the 90th minute when Agel set up Abdullah Al-Hamdan for calm finish. Agdag stayed in the contest thanks to goalkeeper Rasul Kaysa's and inspirited late push, but Al Nassr's defense held firm to secure a narrow first leg advantage they will take back to Riyadh for the return match. Moving on, Bayern Munich booked their first DFB Pokal semi-final since 2020 with a convincing 2-0 win over RB Leipzig at the Allianz Arena, controlling a tense quarter-final from start to finish. Leipzig had an earlier goal ruled out for offside, while Bayern appealed on pressure, with Harry Kane denied by a goal line clearance and the woodwork, and Martin Vadvoort marking several big saves. The breakthrough came after a goalkeeper error led to a penalty, which Kane calmly converted before Luiz added a second with a powerful finish. Manuel shut the door late on as Bayern completed a dominant season series against Leipzig, moving one step closer to a return to Berlin while adding Leipzig's cup run. And now we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. My name is Paul Mathenge, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kema. It's a good night from me.
Everywhere, GBS.